Bitcoin addresses are not usernames. That is the whole episode in one sentence. A username is something you give out again and again because it identifies you. A Bitcoin address is the opposite. It is supposed to be a fresh receiving point for a specific payment or context. When you reuse the same address, you make the public ledger easier to read. You do not break Bitcoin. You do not lose your private keys. You do not automatically get robbed. But you leak information. And in Bitcoin, information can become a map. Last episode, we talked about dust attacks and toxic change, tiny mystery coins and messy leftovers that can connect parts of your wallet history. Today is the beginner privacy mistake that makes those maps easier before anyone has to attack you. Address reuse. Start with the basic model. Bitcoin does not have bank accounts on-chain. It has transactions with inputs and outputs. An address is a way to receive an output. That output can later be spent. If you receive 10 payments to 10 different fresh addresses, an outside observer can still study the chain, but the story is harder to compress. If you receive 10 payments to the same address, you made their job easier. The reused address becomes a public folder. Anyone can look at that address and see the payments connected to it. They may not know your legal name, but if that address ever appears on your website, donation page, invoice, social profile, exchange withdrawal history, public post, or leaked database, the cluster becomes more meaningful. This is why address reuse is such a clean privacy lesson. It feels harmless because people are used to usernames, email addresses, PayPal links, Venmo handles, and bank account numbers. Those systems train you to reuse identifiers. Bitcoin asks you to unlearn that habit. A receiving address is not your Bitcoin identity. It is more like a receipt number. Use it for the context it was created for. Then move on. Here's the mistake in plain English. You buy a hardware wallet, the wallet gives you a receive address, you copy it, you save it in a note, you send it to an exchange, then a friend asks for your address, and you paste the same one. Then a business pays you, and you paste the same one. Then you put it on a public profile because it is convenient. Now very different parts of your life point at the same on-chain identifier. Exchange withdrawal, friend payment, business receipt, public donation, cold storage. Maybe those contexts should not be connected, but address reuse connects them for you. That is the privacy leak, not the amount. The link. Bitcoin privacy is often less about hiding one transaction and more about avoiding unnecessary joins between contexts. Address reuse creates a join before you even spend. Then later, if coins from that reused address are spent with other coins, the map can grow. This connects back to coin control. Coin control lets you choose which UTXOs to spend. Address hygiene helps keep the UTXOs separated before that decision even arrives. If coin control is the advanced button, fresh addresses are the beginner habit. Use the beginner habit first. Now, why do wallets keep giving you new addresses? Because a modern wallet can generate many addresses from the same seed phrase. You do not need a new seed phrase for every payment. You do not need a new wallet for every receive. Your wallet can create a fresh address under the same backup. That is the whole point of hierarchical deterministic wallets. One backup, many addresses, better separation. That does not mean every wallet interface explains it well. Some wallets make the fresh address flow obvious. Some hide it. Some people panic when the address changes because they think the old one disappeared. Usually the old address can still receive, but that does not mean you should keep using it. Fresh address does not mean new wallet. Fresh address means new receiving point. Same wallet. Cleaner trail. Here's the practical rule. For each new receive, use the fresh address your wallet shows you. Do not save one address forever as my Bitcoin address. Do not paste the same address into every exchange withdrawal. Do not put a cold storage address permanently on a public profile. Do not reuse a business invoice address for personal payments. And do not treat address reuse as harmless just because nothing bad happened yet. Privacy leaks often do not hurt immediately. They accumulate. The danger is hindsight. Years later, one reused address can make old payments easier to connect. That is why the best privacy habits are boring and early. Use fresh addresses before you need them. Label coins before you forget them. Separate contexts before they get tangled. Think before consolidating. And never assume your balance is one anonymous blob. Now there is nuance. Some public donation use cases intentionally use a public address or payment code because discoverability matters. Some businesses need stable payment infrastructure. Some advanced tools exist to manage reusable payment information more privately. But for a beginner holding and receiving Bitcoin, the default should be simple: fresh address whenever possible. The goal is not perfect invisibility. The goal is not paranoia. The goal is reducing unnecessary linkage. If you publish one address and reuse it for years, you have created a public ledger trail. If you use fresh addresses, you have not made yourself magically invisible, but you have avoided handing observers the easiest possible connection. That is the trade-off. Convenience versus context. The privacy win is small each time, but small wins compound. Every fresh address says, "This payment belongs to this context, not every context I have ever had." That matters, especially when your wallet later creates change, especially when you spend multiple inputs together, especially when an exchange knows your identity, especially when you receive from friends, clients, donation pages, or public sources, especially when you want future you to understand what happened. Address reuse also creates social problems. If someone pays you to a reused address, they can check that address later. They may see other payments. They may infer activity. They may misunderstand what they see. They may assume every incoming payment is income or every outgoing payment is spending, even when Bitcoin transaction structure is more complicated. You do not want random people reading your financial life through one address. There is another angle beginners miss. Address reuse can make future mistakes more expensive. Maybe today you only use that address for small personal payments, but later, the same address gets connected to an exchange withdrawal, or a business invoice, or a public donation, or a cold storage move. The problem is that the old reuse does not disappear just because your habits improve later. The chain remembers. That does not mean you are doomed. It means the best time to build the habit is before the address becomes important. Fresh addresses are cheap. Cleaning up old public history is hard. That is the asymmetry. The preventive habit is easy. The repair is complicated. This is also why privacy advice often sounds boring. Use fresh addresses. Label coins. Avoid unnecessary consolidation. Separate contexts. Do not publish cold storage addresses. None of that sounds heroic. But boring privacy is usually better than dramatic privacy. Dramatic privacy often means someone waited until the wallet was already messy, then tried to fix everything with complicated moves they did not fully understand. That can create new links. It can create toxic change. It can create tax record confusion. It can create a bigger receipt. The goal is not to become a chain analysis expert overnight. The goal is to stop making the easy mistakes. And address reuse is one of the easiest mistakes to stop. Again, addresses are not usernames. They are receipts. And receipts should not all have the same number. Here is the checklist. First, use the fresh receive address your wallet gives you. Second, label the payment context immediately. Third, keep public donations, business receipts, exchange withdrawals, and long-term cold storage separate. Fourth, avoid putting a cold storage address on a public page. Fifth, when an address changes in your wallet, do not panic. Confirm it belongs to your wallet, then use the fresh one. Sixth, if you already reused addresses, do not do random complicated fixes. Slow down, label what you know, and improve from here. Seventh, learn coin control before spending old mixed coins. That last point matters. Fresh addresses help on the way in. Coin control helps on the way out. Both are about the same idea. Your wallet is made of pieces, and those pieces have histories. The blockchain will not protect that context for you. Your wallet may help. Your habits definitely help. So the next time your wallet gives you a new address, do not treat that as weird. Treat it as the wallet doing something right. It is giving you a cleaner receipt. Use it. Next episode, we go one layer deeper into the habit that makes all of this usable. Wallet labels, and why a note you write today can save future you from mixing coins blindly. This is Exit Velocity. Think in Bitcoin. Educational only. Not financial, tax, legal, or privacy advice.